Hello, and welcome to my Dominion review. New Japan Pro Wrestling. A lot of things going on in this show tonight, or today, or whatever time you watch Dominion. Personally, I watched it early this morning, about 8:45, 9 o'clock a.m. I didn't want to catch the show because I'm not going to stay up till almost 3 a.m. to watch Dominion. So anytime throughout the day, I'm sure either people watch it on the afternoon, morning, or whatever. I'm glad this is on a weekend day because it does help, because this was a 4-hour show. This was like a 6-hour show like last year, due to Kenny and Okada. But Dominion, a lot of things going on in this show tonight. Some big announcements, some surprises, some title changes. A lot of things going on in Dominion. But we kick it off right on commentary. Kevin Kelly, Don Callis back at New Japan Pro Wrestling again on commentary. They always pull Don Callis out for the big shows, I will say that, and it's fun to hear him on commentary though. And what's the last? Chris Charlton, usually there for translations, was on commentary also. We kicked it off with the new IWGP United States Champion Jon Moxley coming through the crowd to go against Shota Umino. That is a young boy. There's not really much to say about this match other than Umino diving onto Moxley to the outside of the ring then. Pretty much Moxley controlled most of the match. This match was like 4 minutes, really. He ended up winning with, I guess we should call it the Death Rider now, because, we're calling him Death Rider Jon Moxley in New Japan. Because I'm not trying to say Dirty Deeds no more, because now I'm just kind of saying double underhook DDT finisher. That's kind of the whole thing. You used to saying Dirty Deeds after watching him in WWE so long, but, you got to go by a new finisher name. So it's a good name. I don't mind it. Death Rider, that's the finish name. But the most important announcement was when Moxley grabbed the microphone and pretty much says he wants in the G1 tournament coming up in Dallas. And that was a bit of a shock to people because I didn't know what he was going to say. But pretty much he wants in the G1, which you're going to hear a lot about the G1 during the show, about people wanting in the G1 tournament. And I'm liking to what I'm seeing right now. I don't know what block they're going to be in, but Moxley entering the G1 tournament, that is a big thing. I will say that, because I'm sure people are going to see, and I don't know what block he'll be in, A block, B block, but there's a lot of matches you could see Jon Moxley in. It could be against Naito. It could be against Ibushi, Tanahashi, Okada. One I would like to see is against Minoru Suzuki. Just two crazy motherfuckers beating the shit out of each other. Both of these guys are just like brawlers. A match with Moxley and Suzuki, you can look at a motherfucking war right there, okay? So that's a match anybody would love to see. Zack Sabre Jr., Tomohiro Ishii, that would be a big brawl right there. There's many ways you could put him in that tournament. And seeing so many names, I'm sure people would love to see him mix it up with those type of guys and see what come from it. I think it would be big. So Jon Moxley entering the G1 tournament, that is a big move right there, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm sure they'll put him in there. Like I said, the guy just got the New Japan. Look, Jon Moxley's on a roll. Okay, what can I say? Like the dude is just so much all over the place right now. You don't know what he'll do next. Okay. If it's not burying the WWE, Vince or the creative team and shoot interviews, it's double or nothing for AEW. It's, probably a match with Kenny Omega when they come to All Out in Chicago. Just win the U.S. title last Wednesday against Juice Robinson in a very good match. And now he's on the card for Dominion tonight. And now he's probably going to be in the G1 tournament. So Jon Moxley is just on a freaking ball game roll right now. This guy's just proving how big of a star he is and how WWE screwed that up. I will say one thing, and people said this to me before. I know I said the whole interview thing was almost comparable to CM Punk's and stuff, but I feel like this is what Punk should have did after he left WWE when he did his shoot interview, and do the same thing Moxley is doing. Just killing it all over the place. That's my opinion. I'm sure other people have said that too, but that's what I kind of think about the whole situation. But pretty much he helped the young boy up, Umino, picked him up, brought him ringside, and then, he carried him on his arm to his back, which I heard they did a promo, when you see the post-match comments, they haven't been uploaded to YouTube yet, but I heard it was pretty funny since he carried him while he did his interview. But with Moxley, like I said, Moxley carrying declaring himself into G1. We now move on to the next match, Satoshi Kojima versus Shingo Takagi, who put on probably match of the year last Wednesday with Will Ospreay in the Best of the Super Junior Finals tournament. If you have not seen that match, go back and look that match up. That match was insane, and I said it before. I'm putting that in my match of the year categories right now. I was still surprised to see Takagi lose because they have made this guy undefeated since October. I didn't think Ospreay was going to be the one to beat him, but him coming up with that loss, going against Kojima, which once again, this was a very good match too. I know a lot of these matches were announced at the last minute for Dominion, but him just trying to hit those pumping bombers on Kojima was like he had to put all his strength in there because he was holding it, but pretty much this was a good match. Takagi, of course, he did his pumping bomber, and then he did the Last of the Dragon, and then pretty much he got on the microphone also saying he wants in the G1 tournament, wanting to prove everyone what a junior heavyweight can do. Personally, I think the guy looks like a heavyweight, and since he's pretty much ran through all the junior heavyweights, and he's already won the junior tag titles, he's pretty much beaten all of them in the Best of Super Juniors tournament. He didn't beat Ospreay, but now I guess he wants to prove he wants to be in heaven. I think we're offering anybody into the G1 tournament. Anybody, newcomers, like I said, newcomers, junior heavyweights, I guess young boys also, anybody to G1 tournament, not just heavyweights. So I guess they're trying to break more of that barrier by letting more people into the G1 tournament. But a much needed win for Takagi, just kind of bounce back off the loss he took from Wednesday. But yes, he has also announced he wants to be in the G1 tournament. So hey, make it happen. I want to see it. Next match on the card, Jushin Thunder Liger and Yoshihashi. Of course, Liger still on his retirement tour, going against Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. It's not much to say about this tag match. It wasn't bad or anything. Pretty good, of course. Suzuki Gun is always gonna try to beat the crap out of everybody they see from there. But I will say the finish was a surprise. Personally, I just kind of saw Suzuki and Sabre Jr. going over because Yoshihashi is in the match, and usually Yoshihashi is the fall guy, or they just don't really give a crap about most of the time. But I think the weird thing was that Yoshihashi pretty much got a roll-up pin on Zack Sabre Jr., getting the win after that. Zack Sabre Jr. and Suzuki were pissed. Sabre Jr. tried to attack Yoshihashi, but Yoshihashi knocked him on the ground again. Pretty much then holding up Zack Sabre Jr.'s British heavyweight title, which I'm sure that's going to be a match in the future, so watch out. And we know they're coming to England. I don't know if they're going to build that already in August and that, but Zack Sabre Jr. does hold that British world title, the Rev Pro one, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess Yoshihashi will be his next contender. I guess they want to, build Yoshihashi one way or another, go against Zack Sabre Jr. And, of course, Minoru Suzuki and Jushin Thunder Liger are still in a feud. They could probably have Liger just take the pin because, they pretty much said this is going to be the last time you see Jushin Thunder Liger compete in Dominion. Like I said before, he's on his retirement tour. And I would not be surprised if they build this all the way into January and his final opponent will be Minoru Suzuki. So, like I said, Jushin Thunder Liger can still go, okay? But hey, if he wants to hang it up, he wants to hang it up. So I guess we gotta wait until January in the Tokyo Dome. So their feud continues, but after that tag match, 6-man tag, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Juice Robinson, and the coach Ryusuke Taguchi versus Bullet Club. Why does no one come out to the Bullet Club theme song anymore? Jay White, Taiji Ishimori, and Chase Owens. It's funny because what is Taguchi, the 69th junior heavyweight champion, if I'm not mistaken, and he wears 6'9" all the time, and he's 69 on his colors. And today is June the 9th also, so that's another thing. And he was trying to be the 69th world heavyweight champion during the New Japan Cup, but that did not happen. So it's just kind of funny, 69. But listen, it's not much to say from this 6-man tag. Juice was more serious. He didn't really celebrate after. The finish was odd, in my opinion. First off, I knew Chase Owens was going to take the pinfall. Pretty much Tanahashi beat him with this. I don't even know what this movie did to be. He did something with his arm, like slam him on the ground, and it looked weird. I thought he would just did a high fly flow and it would have been over with, but he ended up winning. So he had to get a win after, losing to Jay White the other night, during the finals of the Best of Super Juniors. So you gotta do something. But him beating Chase Owens was kind of expected, and Juice didn't really celebrate after. He just kind of, even the commentators put out like Juice Robinson was more serious and just more pissed off, I guess, still after losing the U.S. title the other night. Next, never openweight championship on the line. Tai Chi versus Tomohiro Ishii. Of course, Tai Chi came out and did his singing with Mio Abe. This was a good one-on-one match, I will say that. Ishii pretty much even kind of lying in the ring as soon as Tai Chi tried to walk around, didn't want to do anything at first. He tried to use that microphone and the that arm thing he has on him, and Ishii threw it away. But this was a really good match, though. Very good match. I would say him and Tai Chi put on a really good one out there. It kind of got more better, I would say, kind of near the end. Pretty much Ishii did pick up the win, though. He won with he powerbombed Tai Chi, hit him with a clothesline, and then pretty much hit him with a Brainbuster, 1, 2, 3. I believe this makes Tomohiro Ishii a 5-time never openweight championship. I believe they said this is like the 4th, 6th time this title has changed hands in the past 6 months, or even going all the way back to November. Because I will say the never openweight championship has kind of changed a lot recently. Because if I remember, the person that was the champion last time, if they said November. What was it? I think Tai Chi beat Goto. No. It was Tai Chi was the champion in November. Kota Ibushi beat him in November. Pretty much in January, then Will Ospreay beat him at Wrestle Kingdom. And then Will Ospreay dropped the title to Jeff Cobb back in the G1 Supercard in New York. Cobb recently lost the title back in May at Wrestling Dontaku to Tai Chi again. And now Tai Chi has pretty much lost it a month later to Ishii. So the belt has changed a minute. I will say they've had a lot of title changes recently in this in their in this whole feud and everything. So the belts have kind of changed here and there, but this was still a really good match though. Went about 16 minutes, so I did enjoy it. A match this is another one of these matches I felt kind of random that they just had to add on the card just because. The tag team titles on the line. LIJ, Evil, and Sonata went against Girls of Destiny, Bullet Club with Jado for the IWGP Tag Team Champions. Also, Girls of Destiny are also the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, so they hold both belts. Listen, this was not a bad match or anything. It just felt it felt random, okay? Because it was just added the card at the last minute. I didn't really see G.O.D. losing the belts or by any type of way. Just kind of, they weren't going to lose it by any chance. I just felt like this was random. And, if I remember, the last time these two fought, other than New York, that was like other teams in there. They fought at the Honor Rising thing where I believe even Sonata dropped the belts to G.O.D. But pretty much right after that, of course, Jado was going to get involved. He had the kendo stick because he pulled the referee out of the ring once, even Sonata had their submissions in, the skull in, and the sharpshooter. But since Jado pulled the referee out, he started hitting both Evil and Sonata with the kendo stick. And then in the most slow motion way you could see, Jado picks up the kendo stick and he's picking it up like this, just like this. Like slow, that pretty much right after it looked like they had to give him he had to move so slow, moving that kendo stick about to hit Evil with, that Bushi had to hit the run in and then spray mist in his face, knocking him out of the ring and then hitting him with a suicide after that. Bushi wasn't even on the card, but pretty much then right after that, then Evil Sonata hit pretty much up for the Magic Killer, but Tama Tonga kicked his way out of there and pretty much rolled up. Was it Evil he rolled up? Yeah, he rolled up Evil for the win, retained the titles, and Tama talked some shit into the microphone, and the Twitter something he said. It was something cool he said, and then he told him to suck his dick. Then so there you go. like I said, it wasn't a bad match. And, you saw Sonata leave as, the commentators put it out. And, my neighbor said that, watch, Evil and Sonata are going to walk away from Los Ingobernables de Japón. I don't know if they walked away from LIJ, but they did look really disappointed after. But this was just kind of a random, like I said, this was a random match that was added at the last second. It wasn't bad or anything. It was just kind of, You never really thought GLD was going to lose the belts. They just did this at the last minute. If they built this up in the Dominion, I would have understand. But come on, none of these guys have really been on the show like that. I know Girls of Destiny were on they were on a recent tour, the War of the Worlds thing with Ring of Honor last month, and Evil and Sonata haven't done anything since the New Japan Cup. Yeah, that was really the last time I saw them, was like at the New Japan. No, Wrestling Dotaku. That was last month. That was the last time both of those guys have done anything. But it's like they had to have them on the card. One thing next that was important that did happen right after that, Shibata, Katsushiro Shibata, I hope I said his name right. He came out and I was alright, okay, Shibata's back. And he had a suit on. But he was walking halfway down to the ring, and next thing you know, he's pointing at the stage like this. And this goes on for like a minute. I'm sitting like, what are you pointing at? What is he pointing at? But what person that comes out with him? Kenta, formerly known, if you know Kenta, he wrestled in Pro Wrestling Noda, but if a lot of you people do know who Kenta is, formerly known as Hideo Itami in WWE, who is now in New Japan Pro Wrestling, who had a TakeOver shirt on that was not an NXT TakeOver, but I'm sure you can get the reference of NXT TakeOver, and it was gold, yellow and everything, just like NXT colors, and he was with Shibata, and pretty much says he will be in the G1 tournament also. So Kenta is in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I am looking forward to him being now in New Japan. I will say, because he's been gone since what? I think he left like around January. Yeah, he left after the Royal Rumble. Kenta. And he was just pretty much gone after that. To be honest, Kenta's running WWE. I've said this before. It just, what hurt Kenta was injuries. And he got hurt multiple times in NXT. Because if I remember, Kenta was in NXT since 2014. And yeah, 2014, he was there when Balor was still around there. And I think he should have been on the main roster a long time ago. But he had one injury before, which he was out for about a year. I think it was a shoulder, if I'm not mistaken. And then when he kind of recently came back, I remember he came back and they put him against Bobby Roode then for the title NXT TakeOver Chicago. I don't think people believed in him because he was gone for so long that nobody wasn't with him. And then he was in that tag tournament. I think he was teaming with Ibushi, the Dusty Classic. And then he got hurt again, which was on video against Roderick Moss and what's the other guy's name? Tony Sabatel. I don't know which one it is, but he got hurt again, and he was gone again, and then he came back, and then there was more problems. What is that? What is that noise? Man, felt like someone heard my name, but like I was saying about Kenta there, like I said. Yeah, I think it was injuries, and I just remember on the Rumble, and then they threw him on 205, and I think he broke Brian Kendrick's nose doing a GTS, and they took that away from him, and it just didn't work in WWE. It really didn't, because listen, we know a lot of people leaving WWE nowadays and stuff for many reasons due to creative. And I don't even know to say if creative is the whole reason and stuff, but for his thing, like I said, I think injuries hurt Kenta. And that's pretty much kind of caused him to leave. And I don't think anything else was going for him. It was like, once they threw him on 205, I knew it was kind of the beginning of the end for him. It's not like he didn't put on bad matches. It's just 205 Live was kind of one of those end-all, be-alls, I felt like. And it was kind of best he left. And, I didn't know where he was going next after that. He probably would have went back to Pro Wrestling Noah. I know people thought he was going to go to AEW. And but now he's in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm looking forward. I actually thought Shibata was about to come back and wrestle. I know he can't wrestle right now because of head injury. If you remember that whole headbutt he did on Okada, he says it's almost similar to Bryan's injury. And I know he was training down there in LA. Go look at the whole LA Dojo series with him online if you like. But I know he's hurt. he can't wrestle right now. So I was about to say, if he was about to come back and do something, I was about to be surprised. Like, is Shibata about to end himself in the G1 tournament and back? I'm looking forward to that. The dude can kick the shit out of you. I can tell you that. So hey, that's Shibata for you. But I don't know if he's Kenta's manager now. I don't know if he is in that. I think he is. I'm not mistaken if he is in that. But since he did walk out there with Kenta, did walk out there with Shibata, and pretty much say what he had to say, we'll see where this goes. But like I said, I am looking forward to him in the G1 tournament also. So it's a lot of G1 announcements tonight. But pretty much then next after that, IWGP Junior Heavyweight title on the line. Will Ospreay, who just won the Best of Super Juniors, 2-time winner now of it, going against Dragon Lee. Ospreay, man, this dude is just putting out more fantastic. This is probably Ospreay's year right now. I may go on a limb and say that if he keeps going the pace he's going right now. Because, first off, what he did last Wednesday in the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, especially in that final match against Takagi, it's match of the year category. Both of those guys went in there 40, 50 minutes out there last Wednesday, killing each other. That was just great. That was fantastic. I loved it. It was awesome, okay? I got nothing bad to say about that match. That was match of the freaking year, people. Okay? That's how great that match was. And once again, he slayed a dragon last Wednesday. He was here to slay another dragon. These two, Ospreay just... Dude, well, where do I even start with him and Dragon Lee? Of course, the whole simultaneous moves, they pretty much go into flipping on each other. One thing that was crazy was the suicide dive was when Lee had he set up Ospreay on the kind of on the barricade, suicide dives him like a freaking homing missile into the Japanese broadcast table, knocking down Milano Collection AT. Just he's on the ground then after that, which they finally get back up then. And holy shit, you want to talk about crazy things on this? They tried to do that trio woe thing, which Lee had him set up, and he pretty much did a double stomp to the outside, all in the ring, all the way to the floor, which was insane. And then, like I said, I'm trying to remember the most things that went down because there was a lot of counters and everything, but one thing I did like was when Lee did the Poison Rana thing, like the reverse Hurricane Rana, and Ospreay's back up. Dragon Lee runs back off the ropes, and Ospreay just hits this clean Spanish fly in just for a near fall. Looked freaking crazy. Loved it. Then one thing I did like, which just is probably one of the best things, even Kevin Kelly and all of them just kind of, even though I think they overdid it, was when Lee pretty much ran across the ropes. Ospreay's on the ringside, and he does a Hurricane Rana on the apron, and Will Ospreay just lands on his feet. You could just hear Kevin Kelly dunk. I was like, he landed on his feet. He landed on his feet. He landed on his feet, and it looked cool. Okay, and Ospreay just looks behind himself like it looked like the coolest thing ever, and Dragon Lee doesn't even notice. That's how crazy it was. Ospreay pretty much came back in, did a shooting star press on him, going for the Os cutter, but Lee pretty much took him down with a knee right after that. There was another double stomp then. But Lee pretty much, I think he buckled his leg at one point throughout the match. He pretty much got Ospreay to the outside. Ospreay got back in the ring then. Tried to go for a power bomb, but Dragon Lee went for a Canadian Destroyer. Just once again got another knee, and still Ospreay kicked out after that, which was crazy. But he tried to run a knee again. Ospreay blocked it and tried, he tried to go for the Duskin Rana, but Ospreay took him down, hit him with the hidden blade move, got him with an Os cutter from the top rope, and hit him with a Stormbreaker. Pretty much for the win, becoming the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. How many times has Ospreay had this belt? I don't know how many times he's had it in that, but I think it's what 2, 3. I don't know. I gotta look it up how many times he's had that title, but with Ospreay just putting on another fantastic match, and probably was the match of the night so far. Okay. Because, like I said before, the role Ospreay is on, it's insane. Because pretty much then right after, he pretty much says he wants his first opponent to be Robbie Eagles, Sniper in the Sky from Bullet Club. Since I believe Eagles beat him in the tournament, so I guess it's gonna happen in Australia later in the month because I believe New Japan's going down there. So that's gonna be a match. But like I said, the role Will Ospreay is on is insane right now. Okay, and personally, I hope he says he's in the G1 tournament himself. Okay, because I don't know if they say he said that during the post comments, but let him in. Let him in the G1 tournament, okay? The guy's dominated the whole Super Junior thing. He's done that for a while now. We know he's great at that. He's the champion again right now. Put this guy in the freaking heavyweight division. You let him have the never open weight at one point. Put him in the tournament. Put him in the tournament. He can carve out some great matches out there, okay? Come on, he already killed Ibushi one time. Put him against Tana. I've seen the man face Okada. Put on some great stuff with him. Naito. Jay White. Anyone in the tournament? Kenta? Come on, folks. What do you want me to say here? Okay, so Will Ospreay is just, like I said, he's having a heck of a year right now. Shit, if he keeps this up, you may want to put him in that category for the IWGP Heavyweight title if it ever comes to that one day. But Ospreay once again winning the tournament and the title again. Fantastic match by him. Next match on the card, Intercontinental Championship on the line. Kota Ibushi versus Tetsuya Naito. This is another one of these matches where both of these guys beat the living hell out of each other, which once again, not a fantastic match. You thought the one at the Garden was great. This one was probably even better. Which I will say one thing, the crowd was with Naito in the beginning, but then they turned on him right after that. Pretty much booing at Naito. Because I know Naito's a heel, but they were pretty much kind of, they were pretty much booing at the building in the beginning. But like I said, this match was great. And I kind of figured Naito had to win since he's lost 3 Dominions in a row. It's not had good luck with it. But I'm sure the spot everyone is talking about, which this is probably one of the most brutal spots you will ever see, is when Naito did a German suplex on the apron. And this spot is just so sick. When you see it in slow motion, Ibushi's head lands on the side of the... You would have thought this man would have broken his neck. And somehow he was able to get up before the 20. I thought it was over. I said they killed him. I said they just killed Kota Ibushi. Naito just straight up murdered him. Go look at that German suplex. You look like he could have broken his neck. I was surprised he was even to still stand after that. Because even pretty much then, Naito hit him with like a reverse Hurricane Rana off the ropes for a 2, which I'm trying to see where he's still standing. Even set up for the Destino, but Ibushi blocked it. Hit him with a tombstone that looked pretty bad. Also, like I said, these guys are beating the hell out of each other. Of course, they went back punching back and forth. Naito hit a headbutt, and he did a lot of headbutts then after that. And pretty much he was about to come back again, but Ibushi knocked him down. He was about to do, I guess he was about to do the Kinshasa Bombardier knee strike because he did Nakamura's move, Ibushi, but Naito dodged it, hit him with a Dragon suplex. Like I said, he's just landing on his head more and more. It just looks insane. He hit the Destino 2 count, which I'm trying to see how Ibushi's kicking out at this point. Ibushi hit him with a last ride powerbomb then, and he was going to go for the Kamigoye, but Naito dodged that into a big DDT, hit him with another reverse DDT off the middle rope, went for the Destino again. Ibushi just dodges it. I have a Naito on his shoulders, but Naito, which once again, another dude, I'm sitting there wondering how many times does Ibushi got to land on his head right here. Poison Rana, backwards Poison Rana, hit him with the Valencia, one more Destino after that, winning the match. Like I said, these guys just beat the crap out of each other for like 22 minutes. Naito pretty much stood up, put his foot on Ibushi's head, held the belt up, and once again becoming the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. So LIJ, big win tonight. I like doing this, putting the Naito toy up though. But of course, with Naito winning the belt, somehow I guess he still wants to become a double champion, since Naito has said before in the past few months that he will become both for the first time IWGP Heavyweight Champion and Intercontinental Champion at the same time. So just another fantastic match from both Naito and Ibushi, and I'm sure we're going to see more of these two in the G1 tournament, because I'm sure Ibushi will move on into that now. But that whole thing with that German suplex off the apron, that was just freaking brutal. I was just surprised he was able to stand after that. And Naito's just hitting more of those damn Hurricane Ranas that I didn't even know if Ibushi was going to finish that match. But you just go look at the clip. Go back and look at it. He almost just lands on the side of his neck on the apron. That spot was just dangerous, okay? That was just a dangerous spot. But like I said before, Naito is champion again. Will he become double champion? I don't know, but hey, that's another win for LIJ in my book. So I can't get mad. I'm wearing the hat, for God's sake. So there you go. But then we go into the main event. IWGP Heavyweight Championship on the line. Okada versus Chris Jericho. Of course, they had a video package. One thing, the Rainmaker versus the Painmaker. One thing that was kind of odd, and I know they've done this for a minute, and we already know, but if you play Jericho's music many times, y'all have done since he's been in the company right now, why are we now dubbing Jericho's Judas theme now? That was kind of strange that they did that. But of course, he had his entrance. He rolls from under the ring with his pose. Of course, he's got the Clockwork Orange gear coming out then as Okada came out, with his usual entrance. One thing that was kind of interesting is that they said that Jericho beat Kenny Omega 2 weeks ago. They never said it was at, Double or Nothing for AEW, but they said he beat him a few weeks ago, Kenny Omega. What do I have to say about this match? This was a good match. I know some people say Jericho's matches have kind of looked the same recently. I've been hearing for a while now, just because of and even I kind of point out, especially that thing where he does with the camera, holds it up like this and then just gives it a big middle finger and stuff. And he said Okada several times. Even doing that DDT, that very, very sick DDT on the table on Okada, which pretty big on that. Of course, Red Shoes tried to get involved. Jericho had pretty much knocked him to the ground. One thing I did like with Don Callis was pretty much he said was kind of funny. He pretty much said that Red Shoes is a pussy. That was kind of funny. But pretty much as the match continued, one thing I did like was when Okada did throw Jericho over the barricade, pretty much running, and he does that jump, and Jericho caught him with a code breaker in midair. Almost didn't like he got out of the way, but he still hit him with it. Jericho pretty much closed on him then. He tried to go for a tombstone, but they kept reversing each other. Jericho tried to give him, he had him in the walls of Jericho, but Okada got to the ropes then. He still knocked the referee down again. Still yelling at Red Shoes out there, but Okada hit him with a drop kick. He did a tombstone, pretty much ready to do the Rainmaker, but he dodged the Rainmaker. He pretty much powerbombed Okada then after that. One thing he did do was take the turnbuckle pad off at one point. Once again, Okada tried to go for the Rainmaker, but Jericho dodged him with an Enziguri. Went for the Lion Salt. Still got out of there from that for a 2 count. Okada tried to run into him again, but Jericho hit him with a code breaker. Then after that, Jericho pretty much told Okada to stay down and everything, but it did not work. He tried to pick him up into that turnbuckle, but Okada got out of there. Hit him with a German. Jericho's out. He tried to go for a Rainmaker. Even Okada did a code breaker, still a kick out after that. Jericho hit him with a tombstone. Still did not work, and even put him in the walls of Jericho. But even tried to give him a Lion Tamer, which looked kind of brutal. But Okada got out of that. He tried to go back for the Rainmaker. Jericho tried to hit the Judas effect, that back elbow thing. Okada got out of it. Jericho got a Rainmaker again. He tried to do the code breaker. But one thing about the finish was that Okada pretty much sat down on Jericho. Some say that it was the same way he beat Kenny Omega last year in the first fall. That 2 out of 3 falls match last year. And, just sat on Jericho and got the win. But since Jericho was pissed off right after with Okada retaining the championship, Jericho pretty much beat up Okada right after that, told him to cut the music, hits him with the chair to the face, even though, Okada put his hands up. We don't really see chair shots to the face nowadays. Jericho put the chair in Okada's neck, threw him into it, hit him with a Judas effect in after. He was going to powerbomb him through a table after that whole chair spot and his neck into the turnpost. But next thing you know, Tanahashi jumps the barricade, attacking Jericho. The Young Boys break it up. Jericho pretty much got on the microphone then. And he says, oh, what are you doing, Tanahashi or Bakahashi? And, oh, you don't like what I did to your little buddy Okada right there? And pretty much that the Painmaker never loses. The Painmaker always wins. That Chris Jericho is the greatest of all time, even here in this bullshit country of Japan. And pretty much then right after that, he pretty much walked away. He dropped the microphone, which he did pick it up again. And he says, Okada, happy championship, bitch. And pretty much took the Okada bucks and stuck his forearm and put it down his nuts after that. As Tanahashi pretty much helped Okada to the back, which the fans were pissed after that because you did not hear a promo from Okada. Usually in the main event, you always hear someone talk, and it's usually Okada half the time if he's in the main event and defending the championship. But he was beat up, so the fans were pretty pissed off at that. First off, this was not a bad match. I thought it was a good match. It was more of a brawling match in a way. Listen, I feel like the crowd almost kind of lost it several times until they kind of got into it later on. I didn't really think Chris Jericho was really ever going to win this title to begin with. Oh, it was the first time he's ever faced for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Listen, he had a good match with Okada, but it wasn't the best. I didn't think he was ever going to win the title. I would have been surprised if he won the championship. Like I said this before in the Double or Nothing review. Yes, he was going to beat Kenny Omega because we had to make Chris Jericho look strong going in against Okada at Dominion, because it would have made no sense if he lost back at Double or Nothing, even though Kenny Omega's already beaten him before. You got to make it a 1-to-1 type of thing, and we got to make Jericho look strong here, okay? Now, I would have been surprised if he won the damn title, because that would have once again told me more and more that would be a crossover pretty much with AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. But Jericho was already in New Japan before anyways, last time before this whole AEW came in effect, so we knew he wanted to come back into New Japan. So if he did win that title, I would have been surprised if he won that championship though. But This was a good match. Now, I'm sure people are going to say, did this really live up to last year's Dominion? No, especially in the main event. Because we all know about the main event last year, which was pretty much match of the year with Kenny Omega and Okada in that, over an hour, 2 out of 3 falls match that listen, we all know that was match of the year last year. Nobody is ever going to compete with that. Honestly, no one's ever really going to compete to that match in general. Come on, go. If you didn't see Dominion last year, that was like, the best wrestling show last year, as a lot of people voted. But this was still a great show, Dominion. Listen, it's better than anything that WWE had going on, especially with that Super Showdown bullshit they had last Friday. Okay? So, the Dominion just won by default. But like I said, I still think this was a great pay-per-view. I think there was a lot of newsworthy things coming out of it. We saw 3 title changes, if I'm not... Yeah, we saw about 3 title match changes. We had, of course, people announcing they were going to be in the G1, from Jon Moxley, Shingo Takagi, and a returning Kenta, or debuting Kenta into New Japan Pro Wrestling, and probably Will Ospreay to what I'm hearing now, what he said in the post comments. I'm not sure, so I still got to see the video. But, that's what I heard too. Excuse me. That's what I heard too, though, about him wanting to be in the G1 tournament. But this was still a great show. Okay. The big 3 matches, of course, were the biggest thing. That was great. Ospreay and Dragon Lee tore the house down. No surprise there. Naito and Kota Ibushi killed each other. Another great match. And I still thought Jericho and Okada had a very good match out there, okay? It was a really good match. And I still like the never open weight with Ishii and, Ishii and Taichi. So, is this really going to beat up last year's show? No. And like I said, for last year's show, it was like 6 hours, okay? And that was due to Okada and Kenny Omega going over an hour in that best of 3 falls match. So, there you go. So this was still a great show, and I recommend anybody that has New Japan World, if you want to go look at highlights, go do what you want. But this was still a fun show. This was great. It was about 4 hours. I enjoyed it. Like I said before, there was a lot of newsworthy things coming out of it. This was probably one of the best wrestling shows you're going to see over the entire weekend. Listen, would you rather watch Super Showdown from last Friday and how horrible and god awful that show was? Be honest with yourselves, okay? Really be honest with yourselves here. But yes, New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion, really great show. I believe the next week they're gonna have Kazuya Road. I'm sure. I don't know what the next event for New Japan Pro Wrestling is, but like I said, I'm looking more and more forward to G1 when they have it next month. Of course, it's going to start in America in Dallas, Texas, so we're still going to see a lot more announcements. We saw about 3 or 4 tonight, so I'm interested to see who else will enter the G1 tournament, okay? I don't know who's going to be in it, but I'm looking more and more forward to whoever else is going to announce themselves. So, really great show. I know a lot of these matches were added at the last minute and everything, like the tag title matches or any other tag match was on the show, but it did build up storylines and further what's going on until the next event for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Do I still think it may be an AEW partnership with them? I don't know, but we'll see. But I'm going to go from here. Hopefully this review will be uploaded by today or tonight or whatever time this review will be up. It will be up, folks, okay? But I am going to roll from here. Comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thought about Dominion tonight or today or whatever when you saw this show. Tell me what you just thought about this show in general. It was, like I said, very great show. Alright, just tell me what you thought about it. But, of course, I have other reviews up from the, Blood Money 3, Saudi Arabia Super Showdown thing. Any other Raw SmackDown review. I still got an Impact review to work on. I didn't really see that Night in the Mist thing. I only saw a little of it. I heard about the Taya situation, though, which I'm hearing more of these situations about, I think I heard during one of the tapings for Impact, if I'm not mistaken, they kicked the fan out for being obnoxious. I know this thing has been going on since Ring of Honor, but to what I heard about, whatever, I don't know if it was Friday or Saturday or not, but Impact, they kicked out some fan. At least they threw him out the building. That's what I heard. And like I already saw a video on Ty. I don't know if that fan was kicked out in that, but I think that dude had no business trying to spit at her right after she knocked the beer out of his hand. I don't know. Go look at the video if you want about that, but I'm not getting into the whole Ring of Honor thing because I still think that was some interrogation, mafia type stuff they pulled out. We're going to pull you to the back, man. What you doing out here making all this noise? I don't know the whole situation with that, all right? I'm grieved from both stories, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But like I said before, check out my Dominion review when this is up. The Super Showdown review or any other review that's up. Like I said, working on an Impact one. But I'm going to roll from here. Peace, and we'll see you next, I guess, for whatever comes up, it's going to be uploaded next. Probably Raw or whatever the next show will be. But, like I said, I enjoyed Dominion. I will see you guys later. I'm out of here. Peace. Keep it tranquilo. I'm out.